Your mail is slower. Your letters, your paychecks, your packages.
We rely on our mail for important mail, like bills that have to be paid.
We've never seen it at this level of severity.
We get our medicines through the mail. My meds are not getting here.
But what about your ballot? Let's go back to August, when NBCLX, with NBC stations all over the country, tested whether the Postal Service seemed up to the challenge of delivering your vote in time for Election Day.
First-class mail should arrive within 1 to 3 business days. 88% of our letters met this metric.
We found a lot of mail was delayed, but given a week, the Postal Service would probably get your ballot to the elections office. And they promised to keep improving, so we promised to keep testing. But this month wasn't any better.
This is putting the Postal Service to the test. Part 2.
In all of my life, and I'm not going to tell you my age, I've never seen where you've had the issue with mail like this.
We started testing USPS speed after hearing from viewers like Joyce Harris, who told us her mail was getting delayed by weeks.
I have intentions of voting by mail, but I don't want my vote to not count.
And after hearing the concerns on Capitol Hill, where Democrats accused new Postmaster General Louis DeJoy of slowing down mail to hundreds of millions of Americans in an attempt to help President Trump's re-election.
What the heck are you doing? What the heck are you doing?
So NBC-owned stations were back at it this month, sending more than 400 letters across a dozen cities and across the country too. But this time, we didn't send them as far, on average, as last month. The back of the envelope math stayed the same though, an identical 88% getting to their destinations within the quoted 3-day window. Not great. It's below USPS standards, but probably not something that would throw off an election, because another 10% of our letters got there by the end of the week, also similar to last month's test. As for that last 2%, there are isolated breakdowns delaying batches of mail significantly. For instance, a stack of our letters sat at a Dallas post office for 3 days before getting postmarked and sent out, and a couple of our 400 letters were still missing weeks later. If just 1% of 50 million mail ballots gets lost or delayed this fall, that's 500,000 votes that might not count, or 931 times the margin of George Bush's victory in Florida 20 years ago.
They've got an obligation, the leadership of the Postal Service, to make sure that the elections go well and that mail-in ballots are delivered in time and returned to be counted.
That's why the Postal Service sent out these mailers, 137 million of them, urging voters to get ballots in early, at least a week, if not more, before Election Day. An agency spokesperson declined our interview requests, but echoed the August testimony of Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, saying new initiatives have led to performance improvements since temporary midsummer slowdowns. And they've continued into September. And that is good enough for DeJoy's defenders on Capitol Hill.
If your on-time delivery prior to Louis DeJoy taking office just slightly over 90%, now you're just slightly below 90%, it's really not a factor. It's certainly not being caused by the new Postmaster General.
It is taking longer for some first-class mail to get delivered.
Yes, have there some issues? I think they're blown way out of proportion. And I think the U.S. postal system is very well situated to handle the mail-in balloting as long as people follow reasonable deadlines.
It appears the message is resonating. When NBCLX teamed up with YouGov to poll America on mail voting earlier this month, we found 57% of people who plan to vote by mail say they'll return ballots 1 month or more before Election Day. That could reduce rejections to a fraction of the worst-case scenario. I mean, you were already twice as likely to have your mail ballot rejected because of a signature issue than for it arriving late. So all this new attention on getting ballots in early could actually lower the overall rate of rejection this year.
Do you think some of the sky is falling mentality is hyperbole at this point? People screaming and shouting?
Oh, look, I think it's appropriate and I think necessary when it comes to what happened this summer, and especially with prescription medication. Because sometimes not just a day matters with a prescription medication, even hours can matter. But in terms of the ballots and the election, I think it was important to highlight that as a potential problem.
Moral of the story, mail your ballot early, or drop it off in person. Then check to confirm it was accepted.
Vote early if you're gonna vote by mail, soon as you get your ballot, because don't trust on the mailboxes.
Finally, pay very close attention to the instructions when voting by mail. We'll keep a close eye on the post office, testing their speeds again in October. Hey everyone, Noah Pransky here. Thanks for checking out the NBCLX YouTube channel. For more videos, click here. And don't forget to click subscribe to join the NBCLX community.